Show me the money.
Not that one.
Show me the money!
There's the long one here. We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
When the lights are about to be turned off, you know what you need. Because you got to somehow make that paper, right?
Money! Show me the money!
You come to the right place for that. Because it's time for Bo Bounds to
Show me the money!
show you the...
Oh, man. Brought to you by Pearl River Resort and the Golden Moon Casino Vegas-style sportsbook and damn near every cocktail that we talk about. Because we don't know where in the hell this is going to go with Diamond Dave Bartu. So we'll go with a Volteo, which is super premium Dak Prescott's tequila. You can go Paloma, Ranch Water, or Margarita. Volteo, Volteo, 100% blue agave. We can go Tito's Espresso Martini. Ooh. And then we've also got the Elijah Craig Old Fashioned. Not sweet. That's what I tell every bartender wherever we're traveling. So, this is ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We welcome in our friend Diamond Dave Bartu, and he is Curt Cignetti's number one fan. Good morning, sunshine. How are you?
Oh, dude. How's my favorite Mississippi fluffer, bud?
I'm good, baby. I'm good.
Oh, geez. Curt Cignetti's number one fan. Yeah, and you know something? He'd probably try to kick my ass, too.
He probably would, the way that guy's wired. Good grief.
Oh, dude, he'd break his mom's arm to beat her in any game, too, man.
Yes.
Like, you know, throw the board and everything. Man, dude's pretty intense, but, I mean, it's character. I love it. I know you love it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, it's not very often somebody says, I just win football games and goes out and does it.
Oh, I mean, look. I just tried to punch it. All right. Well, we'll do it later. We've got it, but evidently we can't figure it out. Yeah. So tell me, walk our listeners through. I think this is the last 25, 26 national championships. Historically, what did Curt Cignetti do by the numbers, Bartu?
Oh, by the numbers. Why don't we start with what he did do that continued a 26-year trend, right? Because everybody's focused on the talent. We can get to that, right? But let's focus on what they did that the last 25 national champions had as well. They had top 3 scoring efficiency. And I've been on this show a few hundred times, and everybody knows that I talk about scoring efficiency, whether it's the NFL or college football, any level. When that ball is snapped, how many points do you put on the board? Expected points on the board? How many do you give up on defense? That is the single most important performance number outside of game control in football. And in the last 25 years, by my numbers, not ESPN's or anybody else's, my scoring efficiency numbers, the national champion, the eventual national champion, finishes the season in the top 3 of offense or defensive scoring efficiency. Okay? Top 3, not top 5, not top 10, top 3. You have to be elite. In Indiana, at the end of the regular season, this doesn't count beating the crap out of Oregon and Alabama. They were number 3 in scoring efficiency defense overall. They were number 4 in offensive scoring efficiency. And when you adjust for their opponent, how well did they perform above and below their average opponent? They were the number 1 scoring efficiency team in the country before the playoffs started. Okay? And so that matched every single national champion of the past 25 years. So now it's a 26-season streak of you have to be elite at one or both things to win a national title. That's the one thing that stood out in the numbers. The other thing is the coaching staff. You know, you and I have talked about my coach grading that I do in college football and the NFL, and there has never been a national champion the last 25 years that didn't start with a guy that was 3.5 stars or better at OC and DC. You got to have good coaching too. You know, it's way beyond Cignetti. It's Shanahan, it's Haynes, it's Kane at special teams coordinator, the best 1-2-3 coordinator trio in the country right now. So Indiana did a few things that were quote unquote inside the box that were expected. Obviously, the big one is a non-top 13 recruiter. Indiana, I had them 34 coming into this season, winning a national title. I never, ever expected that in my lifetime, let alone in a 17 game season. But I also think it's one of one. I think Cignetti and that staff and what they put together is one of one. And a lot of people are saying, well, now we all have a shot. No, you don't. I really don't think you do. I think this is just an incredible anomaly, the best graded season we've seen in 26 years, the best graded back-to-back seasons we've seen in 26 years. Hell, the best 3-4 year season back-to-back. Just absolutely incredible what I saw compared to what the numbers said prior to this run.
I know you just kind of went over a little bit of it, but how remarkable, unbelievable is it that they were 34th in recruiting?
Yeah.
And won the national title, Bartu.
No. It's inexplicable to me. I mean, it really is, because I started the recruiting composite. That was the first thing I did inside the numbers in 2008. And this is before recruiting composite, as you know it, and everybody else knows it online exists. I started calculating it and posting on chats on 247. And that's how I kind of reverse engineered the national championship model. And that's where the blue chip ratio came from as well. And it was really, really consistent. Performance and talent, right? And how many times have we heard it? Hard work can beat talent unless the talent works hard. And that was the national championship formula for 25 years. And to see somebody that recruits, and my recruiting now, folks, just so you know, it's now a hybrid. It's a hybrid between transfer portal acquisition and high school. So it's a blended. Most people go to Indiana's and go, oh, they recruit in the 50s and 60s. That's just high school. That stuff's antiquated. You have to have a hybrid with it. So, so you're talking Indiana, though. I mean, they recruited. They came into the season relative to the SEC, they came in at a Arkansas talent level, at a Kentucky talent level, at a Mississippi State talent level.
Wow.
Right? I mean, that's all three of those teams were in the 30s for high school plus portal recruiting. That's what you're looking at, right? And it's just it's flabbergasting. I just cannot believe that I just saw that happen. It's one of the greatest things in college football in terms of the data that I will probably ever see in my lifetime.
Bartu, Diamond Dave Bartu, talking Kurt Cignetti and the ultimate outlier and anomaly. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, that it is. It is the ultimate outlier. It is the ultimate anomaly. You know, TCU almost did it, right? They were almost there a few years ago on the back of incredible luck. 48% of their scores came on explosive plays. Now try to do that math in your head. Half their points came on scores over 20 yards away from the goal line, right? Just lucky as all can be. Unbelievable luck. Not this team. This wasn't unbelievable luck. This was, like I said, offense, defense, you put them together. The raw numbers, they were number 2 overall in scoring efficiency. They were number 1 overall in scoring efficiency. And people go, well, strength of schedule, blah, 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 blah. Man, all you people who've been sold on the strength of schedule crap, okay, it doesn't exist anywhere, right? I mean, the best strength of schedule went 5 and 6 in the playoffs. The better strength of schedule went 5 and 6. That's why I adjust for opponent, offense and defense, to kind of give you a better view of it. So Indiana outperformed the average offense and defense they faced better than anybody But strength of schedule doesn't matter, and you're going to find out about that real quick come next year with your 9-game schedule. You guys got sold a bill of goods because it doesn't mean jack squat for team quality.
That's going to be brutal for the SEC because they kept the non-con Power 4 mandate game and then the non-conference games.
Yeah.
Part two.
Actually, you need that, though. I know this sounds crazy, but you need a benchmark against somebody. Right? All you're doing, you've built a wall around yourself, and you're playing, the more games you play against yourself, the more you isolate yourself. And the worse it gets, right? It should have been the other way around. You should have stayed at 8 and gone 2 Power 4 requirements. Right? That's what I would have been trying to do. Because then if you're that good, you don't need to beat each other up. You beat everybody else up. Right? And then you show it. By not having those games, if Mississippi State played 3, Sun Belt teams and the SEC, you have no benchmark against everybody else. Now, for you may go, hey, that's 3 wins. I'll take a win right now.
Sure.
Look at that schedule. Getting to bowl eligible, just getting to 6-6 is going to be wicked. But. Yeah, I would have gone 8-2 instead of the 9-1, but I really think you have to have that one in the conference so you can try to benchmark yourself against the rest of the country.
Bar2, Diamond Day, Bar2's Bangers on the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We've established here the last 11 minutes that Curt Cignetti is not human. Okay, so I don't even know what I don't. The other thing that's inexplicable too is we all know what he did was incredible, right? I mean, just incredible. But and we just had one of the craziest coaching carousels ever, and he has an offensive coordinator that has put up a top 5 offense the last 2 years with 2 different quarterbacks. 2 different quarterbacks, actually 3, because it was top 10 at JMU 3 years ago. Nobody asked him to be a head coach. Defensive coordinator, back-to-back top 5 defenses, different player profiles. Nobody asked him to be a head coach. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I really don't get that part of it. But oh well, that's college football. All right, you just hit on something, and you talked about it yesterday when we talked for 25 minutes. Diamond Day, Bar2 on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. It's also it's not just his ability to evaluate and get players in the right spot, but obviously his staffing since JMU and maybe even before IUPU or wherever the hell he was, but his ability to staff, which is where most head coaches miss, is premier, unbelievable, something maybe you've damn near never seen. Is that right, Bar2?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's damn near never seen because, Nick Saban was incredible for a while. His I can't remember which staff it was, where like Pruitt was the bloody safeties coach. I mean, there was 1 year where his average staffer was borderline a 5-star coach. We've never seen anything like it since. I mean, it was amazing. So yeah, I've seen stuff like it. But
he also had the number 1 composite recruiting over 4 years.
Oh yeah, no, that's different. That's different, right? I mean, when people go, well, what about Nick? Nick could win 4 national titles in a row. Personally, I don't know how the numbers would work out. What Cignetti did in 1 year at Indiana far exceeds any of that with number 1 talent. Right? I mean, it's bonkers to me. But Nick was very good at staffing, but a lot of it I heard came from his agent's pool. And if you notice, his staffing declined over the years. And you and I talked about this on your show.
We did.
People weren't closing, like Kirby didn't close the talent gap that much. Right? I mean, Alabama was still a number 1 recruiter, and Georgia moved up in recruiting a little bit, but it was the regression of the Alabama coaching that brought him back.
Yeah, Kiffin leaving, Sark leaving, Kirby leaving, Pruitt leaving is where you're going, right? And Cignetti, right? Exactly.
I mean, Kirby is our number 1 ranked defensive coordinator of the last 17 years. I mean, he is incredible, absolutely incredible. And those guys aren't replaceable. But Kurt's done a really, really good job of finding these guys, evaluating coaches, and getting them into position to be successful for absolute sure.
Show is brought to you by Pearl River Resort. We're visiting with Diamond Dave Bartu. This is ESPN 105.9 The Zone. And Kurt Signetti is the national champion at Indiana, which is just saying that is – I haven't watched 5 minutes of Indiana football until maybe a little bit last year and this year.
Right.
And I love – 11 a.m. to midnight, I'm in. I don't just watch SEC. I'll watch the other Power 4 conferences or a good G5 game if it's rolling. But all right. So here's the deal. Nobody, you just touched on something. No, another school didn't break up the crew. So the band, Signetti and these three coordinators you're referencing, OCDC special teams.
Right.
I feel 99% certain, Bartu, that next year, December 1, he's going to lose 1, 2 of these guys. We think.
Yeah. He might. He very well might lose them. I'm just now, but Indiana has what, second biggest alumni base, and we talked about this 4 or 5 years ago on your show about NIL and alumni base and average salary per alumni and how the game is going to change. And so Indiana has a lot of money. Let's not kid ourselves. Mike Shanahan, their offensive coordinator, makes a grip of money. Bryant Haynes, defensive coordinator, makes a grip of money. Their special teams coordinator, Kane, makes a grip of money. These guys aren't that easy to pry away, and they all like working with each other. But that being said, somebody's going to be able to write a big enough check to take the risk on these guys and bust these things up, in my opinion. Okay.
Now, let's go to the SEC. You're not real impressed as far as the coaches as a whole. You like, and I don't know if Lane is leapfrogged Kirby with what he did at Ole Miss. I would have Lane at 1 and Kirby at 2, or Kirby 1A. But I understand that Kirby was amazing and won 2 national championships, and you mentioned him as a DC. But outside of Kirby and Lane, maybe Summerall, you drive the ship here. You're not really impressed with the coaches 1 through 16, right? Or 3 or 4 through 16. Is that accurate, Bartu?
Well, something. It's let's take a look at them versus Indiana, right? Since we're talking about Indiana, and Indiana's the national champ, talent-wise, pretty much everybody in the SEC out-recruits Indiana, right? So it's not a talent thing. It's just not. So it's got to be a coaching thing. And is there a program that has a head coach, an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, and a special teams coordinator on par with Indiana? And you just probably named the 2 of them that have something close to that in Georgia and LSU, because with LSU, you got a top 10 head coach in Lane Kiffin. You got a top 5 offensive coordinator in Lane Kiffin. You got a 4-star defensive coordinator in Baker, who last year with the 126th offense had the 13th best defense in the country. God. So if LSU has the entire defensive staff back and the players, all they were missing was the offense last year, and Lane got his quarterback. I don't know how anybody doesn't call LSU national championship contender right now.
Okay,
on paper, right? On paper. So I don't know who LSU's special teams coordinator is right off the top of my head. I don't know what's been hired there, but the OCDC head coach combination is phenomenal. Top 2 in the SEC, and the backup to that is going to be Kirby. Kirby's defensive mind, like I said, 17 years, number 1 defensive coordinator. Nobody's even been close to him since he hung it up at Alabama, but that's still in his brain. And Bobo, even with a 27 offense this year, still a 4-star plus offensive coordinator, even though that was the weakness this year, but it was the strength last year. So, and once you get away from that, once you get away from those 2 guys, those are to me the tier 2, the tier 1 combination, I'm trying to think in my head, is there anybody else out there that you would even consider in that Kirby, Bobo?
What about
Human?
Summerall, Brad White, and Buster Faulkner? Is that as close as it gets, Bartu?
That might be
Okay.
as close as it gets right now. Summerall, though, hasn't done it at the Power 4 level,
Sure.
but it's been portable. He's done it at two places, and so that has been solid. And, Brad White, he's had an elite ceiling, and he's a 4-star plus guy. But Faulkner hasn't had an elite year. He hasn't put up the really big numbers yet, but he doesn't lay a clunker. So
Okay.
I'd put them tier 2 because of lack of overall Power 4 experience. But that would be easily in the tier 2 of staffing of the SEC right now for me.
Okay. That was fun. Holy moly, that was a fast 21 minutes right there. But it sounds like there's a lot of how about this? There's a lot you have question marks for all the teams damn near outside of Lane and LSU and Kirby and Georgia. Is that fair, Bartu?
Oh yeah. Do we have 30 seconds? I'll rattle through them all.
Yeah,
right
I've got a minute and a
now.
half.
Okay. So with Ole Miss, you got an excellent defensive coordinator mind in Pete Golding, but he's bringing in the fastest pace of play guy on offense. Their defense hasn't had to deal with that. That is a troublesome marriage right there. So that is a big question mark. Texas, Muschamp, hasn't called plays in 10 years. Huge question mark right there with a not great head coach. A&M, new offensive coordinator, who is a wide receiver. That usually doesn't work out too well. You start going through these things, and Jim Knowles takes 4 years to learn the defense. Kentucky has the worst graded defensive coordinator in the SEC. I mean, it's I don't have enough time to go through all these guys, and we can do that another time, but
Sure.
There's just holes everywhere. It is very, very inconsistent, and nobody outside of really Georgia and LSU has an elite trio of coordinators and head coach in the SEC, and I think that is where the difference between them and the Big Ten is.
We'll leave it there. And Pete Kwiatkowski, who was fired at Texas, Bartu loves him, top 5 defensive coordinator, is not employed. So there.
Sark gonna Sark, baby. Sark gonna Sark.
Regression, babe. Hey, thanks, Diamond Dave. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Diamond Dave Bartu on the Out of Bounds Show, brought to you by the super cool Pearl River Resort. Table games, amazing food, Vegas-style sportsbook, Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, Philip M's, one of my favorite steakhouses in the Southeast. PearlRiverResort.com. Book your stay and play or stay and play table games right now. For Jackson Meadows, I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Lunch today is brought to you by, how about a hot wood-fired pizza from Taste Italian Kitchen in the Renaissance, or maybe one to go later this afternoon for the family. TasteItalianKitchen.com to make a reservation. We love you. Detillier was fantastic. So was Bartu. Go to YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports. You can find it all. We'll see you tomorrow.